Reddit, what's your deepest and darkest secret? When I was like 6, I was super scared of the dark like most 6-year-olds. It was late at night and I needed to piss really bad. I had an air vent on the floor near my bed. So obviously my 6-year-old mind thought it'd be a good idea to piss in the vent. My parents never found out, but we're constantly complaining about the piss smell that they couldn't seem to locate. I'm taking this secret to my ducking grave. When I was a kid, maybe 13, I timed an online delivery for when my parents were out of town and grandma was staying with me. I got a sword. An actual sharpened hard katana. Obviously not forged or anything, but way too real for a kid. So anyway, it comes and I take out to the woods, of course, to play around with it. It's getting dark and I'm heading back home after killing some leaves, when something coughs, snorts at me and lunges out of a bush. I scream like a girl and overhead swing that katana down so fast. Well, I hit the baby, yelling, "Deer," slanted across the neck. Stupid sword barely cut him, but it definitely broke its neck. I cried and watched it die over about 20 minutes, then left the sword there and went home. I've told one person ever and they said I was a monster. So I pretty much stopped thinking about it. Thanks all. In 6th grade, I had a friend that lived across the country from me. We Skyped all the time and we were best friends. Well, one night when we were on Skype, she was talking about how she didn't want to live. Hung up abruptly and I've never heard from her since. For years I thought she put on a show so she wouldn't have to talk to me. I have a story kind of similar to this. A friend and I were playing Counter-Strike about a year ago and the team we were placed on was fantastic. Fun guys who could play well. We added them and played a few more games that night until we were getting stomped one game. One of the guys says, "I'm about to leave. I don't have time for this shit," and we were laughing with him and he said, "No. Really? I don't have time for this." After some pushing, he tells us that he has some horrible kidney issues and is going to die in about 4 months, as he is low on the list for a replacement. We play with him a few more times in the coming weeks until he gets on less and less to spend time in real life. Anyway. Time passes and the other week I remember the guy and check his Steam profile, last online 8 months ago. Rest in peace, my man. Once when I was in 8th grade, I downloaded a bunch of porn and burnt it onto discs and sold it to other kids at the county fair in exchange for them buying me fair food. But I've told that story so many times that I can't remember if that actually happened. Or if I just came up with that story to cover up having a ton of porn on my computer when my mom found it. How does that make things better though? I'm gay. If you think that's tame, you should know I live in Russia. On the behalf of KGB. You are being tracked, mate. Last time somebody asked this question, we got a cum box. When I was a kid, I would often wake up before my parents and slip downstairs to watch some TV. The only bathroom was upstairs. And I never felt like going back up there and missing my cartoons. We had houseplants behind the TV. So I just peed in them pretty much every single day. They eventually died and got replaced by new houseplants. Peed in them. Too. It eventually became a game for me to see how long it took me to heal them with my urine. I'm an attention seeker. Almost everything I say is to get attention. Because I'm so painfully lonely. I don't start drama or anything. But I purposefully divulge particularly strange things about myself to people. To get a reaction. You would hate me. Friend, yeah, I've had a 5-way. Me coolly want to order lunch. Once I thought about masturbating. In 6th, 7th and 8th grade, my book report was on a Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's court. I got an A each year. I've never read the book. I've gotten A's on plenty of book reports thanks to Spark Notes and a good vocabulary. I should probably just read the books instead of fanfiction. Nice try, Facebook. Before joining Reddit, I never told people online I use a wheelchair. I once planned to end my own life and had it all planned out. Letter wrote. And on the morning of when I had planned to go, the person who tormented me at school for years had taken his own life. I swore I would get help. But at times, even though I can paint a really happy picture on the outside, I can still feel myself have days where I want to bawl my eyes out, crawl into a corner and disappear. My life is exponentially better now to before, but it doesn't change how ducked up I feel in the inside. My darkest secret is I still fight these urges and I still hate myself. I secretly despise fat people. I mean really obese people. When I'm out in public and I see obese people, I insult them in my head. I don't even know why. It's not like I don't understand how hard it can be. I guess I just feel like not enough people care. Edit. Since apparently people think I am rude to fat people, I roll. I'm not. I have fat friends. Yes. I know. Classic excuse. But it's true, and I think they're great. And I encourage them to fix their situation. And if you're a fat person who is trying to lose weight, I applaud you. It's insanely difficult and takes an insane amount of courage. The reason I think this way is because of how popular it is to think that being obese is fine. It's not. You are not only hurting yourself, but also your loved ones and the healthcare system. I'm sorry if I hurt anyone. I really didn't want to. But I felt like this pertained to the question, so I said this. I'm sorry if any of you hate yourselves more because of what I said. I don't want you to. I want you to realize there's a problem and to get ducking help. Mentally and physically. The first step is admitting there's a problem. Stop ducking lying to yourself. When I was a kid, one of the windows in my room led right to the roof of the garage. And since we didn't have any screens, I started climbing out onto the garage roof. Parents found out. Added screens. I tried to remove the screens, but I figured I wouldn't know how to put it back on, so I left it alone. Fast forward a few months later. My parents get me a cheapo pocket knife that could do little else but slice through cheap fabric. But it could slice through a screen. So, did that. Made it look like I still had a screen and kept going on the roof. Yay. Then we went on a trip. We came back and it was a cool summer evening, so mom goes upstairs to open all the windows. I'm hanging out with the dog at the foot of the stairs when my mom calls my name and asks if I had cut the window screen. Nope. I deny. Ready for the I already knew, I just wanted to see if you would tell me the truth spiel. Mom frowns. Calls my dad to go upstairs with her and then silence. I figure by now they're planning where to hide my body. Few minutes later a cop shows up. Starts talking to my parents and investigating. I'm called over to talk to the policewoman. She congratulated me for keeping my window locked because obviously some kid was trying to break in to have a house party or a burglar. I'm commended for being safe and smart. Parents are proud. I wished I had gotten caught, but realized if I spoke up now there would be nothing of me left to identify after my parents got a hold of me. Mom checked the locks of all the windows from then on. Always brought it up. Always said what a smart girl I was for always locking my windows. TLDR. Parents thought someone was trying to break in by cutting the window screen in my room. Surprised it was just their dumbass kid who knows when to keep her mouth shut. I'm turning 25 in a couple months and I'm still a virgin. Back in high school I was really fat and gross, so no girls wanted to talk to me, which led to me just keeping to myself and being the quiet kid. I've spent the last couple years working out and eating better, and now I'm better looking, and now all of a sudden girls have been interested in me. The problem is I never had any real practice being with girls, so I feel like I've hit the ground running and I'm lost on what to do. Edit. Wow, I did not expect this much support, thank you all. When I was 11. My friend and I walked to our local swim club in the middle of the night. I picked the lock on the snack bar door and we broke in. In all, we stole at least 2 gallons of Mountain Dew. In the 8th grade, I completely sucked at crafts. For our term assignment, we were given the parts to build this toy car thing. My car did not work at all. We had to race it and the teacher would grade each car. I knew my engine ducked up, so I just replaced the shell of the sample model car my teacher had with mine. And raced the sample. Swapped it back right after. In the end the final examination screwed me over, but I still managed to pass the class though. TLDR, couldn't build a crafts car, so I swapped the teacher's model with mine and got an average grade. In 8th grade, I won the Reader of the Year award at school. I was in a club called Book of the Month Club the entire year, but only because I wanted to get on the principal's good side. I was not the best in school and got into trouble from time to time, so for some reason I decided to join his club. All I had to do was read any book and write a one-page summary afterwards. I turned in a summary every week for the whole year. At the end of the year, in front of the whole school assembly, I got the prestigious award. I never read a single book. Like not one book. I was just good at summarizing in my own words. I would look up what the book was about and go from there. It was very easy and shocking that he never asked me more about the books that I was supposedly reading. Good times. Okay, here goes. Sharing something I thought I would take to my grave. My husband likes me trimmed and I like him to do it. We use a couple of small hand towels to catch the distinctive curly hair that is cut off. Somehow our laundry got mixed up and I ended up using those same towels, and washed, and putting them in a guest bathroom for a Christmas party. So after probably 6 hours, all the guests left and we only then realized that we had left our pube covered towels out for people to dry their hands on. I don't know who noticed what, no one said anything. But I've always assumed that everyone noticed, and we seriously haven't seen most of those guests since, as I was too mortified to invite them again. Someday, I expect that I'll see the other side of the story on Reddit. Like grossest thing you saw at someone's house or something : dart. The extent of how much I hate myself and my life. I think about death a lot but never tell anyone because there is a very real possibility of losing my job if I did. So there's that sort of mindset that I can't seek help or be open about it in fear of losing my job. I want to duck my best friend. With my fiancé. I'm the guy who put toast crumbs in the butter. One is I used to physically fight with my mom as a kid. I would also say some things I regretted. My dad was abusive and she would defend him. She would get in my head and get me not to call CPS. She told me if I called CPS our entire family would fall apart and it would be my fault. She would get in my face when I told her to leave my room, so I'd try to walk her out, so she would shove me back and that would start a fight. She would defend it saying she thought I was trying to push her. No matter what, though it's never okay to pick a physical fight with your kid. Since then she has apologized and moved on. I'm still pretty broken though. She pretends it never happened. I don't speak with my dad. But I feel terrible for hitting my mom or saying the things I did. She was already dealing with my dad. Heck. The reason I stayed at home so long was to make sure she was okay. Edit. Thank you to everyone who sent me support. You can't imagine how much it means to me. I'm not sure how I feel about my top rated comment being about my childhood abuse, but hopefully this helps someone somehow. If anyone needs to talk, feel free to message me. I moved out at 21. My parents divorced when I was 23. And I cut my dad out shortly after. I've been in and out of therapy for years, but I'm in it right now. God bless you beautiful people.